One of the cornerstone attacks a pen tester performs against a web application is SQL injection, also known as SQLi. Now, there are numerous areas in an application where SQLi can be tested, but two of the main, most commonly targeted areas include the login forms and the web forms. So it's these areas that we'll take a look at in this demo in regards to our juice shop. We want to test our application to see if it's vulnerable to SQL injection. We're actually going to tackle this particular challenge, which is to log in with the administrator's user account. Now, if we go back to the catalog page of the juice shop, go ahead and click the login button. Now, if you recall, we created Bob's account and then we also logged in as admin. Now, when logging in as admin, I gave you the password. Let's say that we did not have either the administrator's username or the password. How could we find that information out if the application is susceptible to SQLi? So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and try to log in with some dummy values. Let's try tester@gmail.com with a password of test123456778. Now make sure that Burp is running in the background so that you can capture this particular login attempt. Please notice that we get a message that says invalid email or password. If we go to Burp and we go to the Proxy HTTP History tab and we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we're going to see our attempted login. So you can see on the Request tab that this is what we typed into the two text boxes. And then the response that we received is this message. Go ahead and copy this message. We're going to use it in the intruder, so do a Control-C, and that way you have it in your clipboard. Now I want you to take this request and send it to intruder. Leave the values as is for the Target tab. Go to Positions. In Positions, go ahead and clear all of the values and only add email. Go ahead to the Payload tab. We're going to use a simple list. Now the word list that I'm going to be using to detect SQL injection is going to be a word list from FuzzDB. You can get FuzzDB payloads from the GitHub page. I'm actually going to use this cross-platform word list. Now a very important step is to uncheck this URL encode these characters box. Please make sure you do that. Basically, that ensures that the payloads will go in as is from the word list. Now in the Options tab, please scroll down to the grep match section. I'd like you to clear out everything that's here and go ahead and Control-V or paste in the message that we copied to your clipboard and click Add. One other option I'd like to show you has to do with redirections. A lot of times applications will have a redirect immediately following the login page. This is to prevent the caching of login credentials in the browser. So what I like to do is I like to always follow the redirects. Of course, I'm going to keep it in scope and go ahead and process the cookies in those redirects. Okay, now we're ready for our attack. Go ahead and click Start Attack. And the column that I would like for you to sort on is status. Everywhere that you see a 200, that means we got a good response back from the web server. Now the next part of this is to actually look at the response. What we're looking for is this token. So everywhere that we have a status of 200 and we did not receive that error message, we probably have a token. So all of these payloads actually bring us back a token, which means the application is certainly susceptible to SQL injection. Now, if you look closely within the JSON structure of that token, you will see the valid email account. Now let's perform the same attack, but now try to determine what the password is for the admin. So we now know the proper value for the email address or the username that's being used by the admin. Let's go ahead and fuzz for the password. So now we want to put our substitution parameters around the password. For the payload, we're going to use a completely different payload this time. I'm actually going to use derb's word list, and I'm going to use the big.txt. Let's go ahead and start our attack. Just shy of 2,000 requests in, I've already got a hit. I've got a status of 200, and that is for the payload of admin123. I did not receive the error message. If I look at the response, I can verify that I do have that token. So now we know how to get both the username as well as the password for the OWASP Juice Shop application, which is susceptible to SQL injection.